Folks.
Of course.
No sound.
Yeah, there it is.
False alarm.
Hey, folks. Man, we really need some front lights because that stirrup is out of the light. Maybe, in case we just have this dead zone right here. Here, Denny, I'm going to move your coffee.
Okay.
Welcome to all. We've got some dead skin here that we're.
Dead skin.
That's what it looks like.
Like a scab.
It's a scab. There we go. There we go. Look at how pretty she is. All right, for those of you, if you haven't been here for the last couple videos, Denny has been experimenting with a Fender lamp design. So we did a stirrup last week. We have done a little bit of lacing, a little bit of tooling. Really, it's just big panels that you lace together.
Yes.
After you tool them or whatever you want to do. So we did this cover for the base of the lamp on Wednesday. We've got our two fenders here that come together and attach to the stirrup. So if you know how to make a saddle, you know how to attach all this, you're good to go. Or saddle repair, I assume. And then there's just this one piece. And then on Wednesday's video, we attached all the tooling patterns and the overall shape patterns for this specific design. So I don't know if Justin will put it on today's video or not. But today we'll be working on the Rawhide lampshade, and we have special guest, Kevin Hopkins.
He's very
old
special.
man number 2.
He is special.
Maybe you're old man number 1, and Denny's old man number 2.
Yeah, I'll be 2.
All right.
You be 1, I'll be 2.
Now I know what Becky means when she said I was special.
Or he's the avid rock collector, which he also is.
Well,
and so he's come in today to just lend a little bit of support while Denny, I guess, rather lazily laces up some rawhide.
What are you trying
how
to
do
say?
you lazily lace rawhide?
I don't know.
I don't know,
It's
but
kind
I'm
of
going
a
to try
tongue
and be
twister.
He
lazy
said it was going to
about
be
it.
boring. Did we?
It'll be real exciting for just a minute, and then it'll be boring.
So talk about rawhide for a minute, because we really don't talk about rawhide very much.
Okay, rawhide is just a piece of hide that is raw.
What?
Just like it says. It's not tanned. The only thing that's done is the hair's been removed.
And
Other
it's probably
than that-
been split a little bit.
Yeah, this is a goat. I'm not sure if it's split or not. Is it, Kevin? This goat?
I don't believe so.
I think this
Okay.
is full weight. A lot of cowhides that they will split, you know, because it's pretty heavy hide. But
So how do you work with rawhide? If somebody wants to work with rawhide, what do they got to do?
have patience and
Well, they're going to have to get it wet.
yeah, you can cut rawhide when it's dry, but you about have to use a pair of tin snips
And
or a saw.
and you said something really important, I think. Anytime you're working with rawhide, anytime, to a degree, you are experimenting.
That's right. Yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't
that's
know
it.
how. You know, people say rawhide shrinks. The old deal on the old Western movies where they had guys staked out to an anthill with rawhide, and they say the strings are going to shrink and stretch
Yeah.
them all out of shape. I honestly believe that the rawhide does not shrink.
No.
But I believe that
You
when
stretch
you're
it?
working with the rawhide, you stretch it, and then it goes back to its original
Yeah, it just
shape.
hardens up.
Yes. Yes, it goes back to its original shape and just gets hard as a rock.
It gets as hard as rawhide.
Hard as rawhide, that's right.
I don't know if you've ever tried to wrangle a piece of cow rawhide before, but when you have a full side of cow that is rawhide, you need about 20 people to roll that into anything to ship it.
Yeah. I used to, on saddles a lot of times I would put a rawhide rim on the saddle horn or a rawhide cantle binding. Mm-hmm. So I would order full weight rawhide from the saddle tree factory is where I usually got it. And it would come rolled up, dry.
And
And,
it would-
I mean, getting it unrolled, it took 2 people to unroll it, and then you better be careful and not stand in the way,
'Cause it'll
if
spring.
if one person let go, yeah,
Take your head right off.
It'll schmuck you.
yeah. And like I say, the only way to cut it, especially a full weight rawhide, is with a pair of tin snips or a saw.
I will tell you, I used to have to spool the rawhide lace. Definitely was my least favorite thing to do in the warehouse.
Oh, do the kangaroo?
Yeah. It would cut you if you.
Yeah, and this is rawhide lace that I just cut off of this piece of goat.
So you got one piece of goat, and you left the live edge.
Yes, I left the live edge on the bottom, as you can see here. Hopefully that'll look cool and not.
I think it's gonna look fantastic. All right, so Michael has a question for you gentlemen. Is there ever too much polishing compound on strop?
Yeah, only in the sense that it makes a mess. I mean, it's really not.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Okay.
You know, if you're using it on a wheel, I apply compound every time if I make 2 or 3 strokes of whatever tool I'm trying to buff on the wheel, I'll put some more compound on it. But that's a little different than just a regular strop too.
Yeah.
But you generally won't have to add compound to a strop very often.
No, hardly ever, because, you know, I've got a strop at home, and my gosh, when I realize I need it, I haven't looked at it for who knows how long, and then I gotta go find my jeweler's rouge, and I don't wanna do that, so I just use it. It works.
Yeah, it works.
But I mean, you could always make it better.
A strop is just a polishing tool anyway. It's
Yeah.
not a sharpening tool. If your blade is not sharp, you aren't going to get much done on a strop.
Yep.
I'm just going around here and doing kind of a spiral whip stitch around the top. I guess I've got 3 sides on right now.
I'm just pounding. You know, I like to pound.
That's good.
Dang it.
And the thing about rawhide, if you're going to use it, all you can do is rough cut a piece that you're going to use to approximate size. Then you get it wet. When you get it wet, it feels like a piece of cooked spaghetti, cooked noodle.
I always referred to it as warm bacon.
Yeah, okay, warm bacon.
That's
a
kind
good
of not
one.
nice, really.
But to really use it, you need to let it dry out to where it's almost the consistency of just regular leather.
Yeah.
Then you can cut it and do something with it. And that's what I did when I cut these panels. It was starting to dry out. And this piece of lace, since it's thin, it's starting to dry out right now. But that's all right. It'll stay wet enough for me to.
Yeah, you kind of gotta. Well, that's why you're experimenting, is because you just learn that.
Yeah.
You know, you go to lacing something with rawhide, and you realize, hey, I better get going.
Yep.
It's a lot harder to wet it after.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about lacing 1 or 2 of these panels on and then finishing it up today. But how would I keep it wet enough to actually work? So I didn't do that.
How long has that been wet?
A couple of days. You can leave it wet for a long time. At a saddle tree factory, you can go and they've got big tubs bigger than this table, just filled with water, and just 50 cowhides floating around in it wet. And no telling how long they're there. It smells like rotten meat when you walk into a place like that. But it doesn't seem to hurt the hide. I mean, I wouldn't leave it for 6 months or anything, but
Not for 6 months?
no, that's a little too long.
Any experience putting rawhide in a cowboy holster?
A cowboy, not in a holster as such. I've used it for like a thumb brake stiffener before, and I know those cowboy action shooters, you know, they like a real stiff holster, and I've heard of people using rawhide, and that would be a good thing to do. it would work well, I would say.
How would you do it?
Be slick as all get out.
Well-
Get it wet, form it, use some hide glue on the inside.
Yeah, and it would be between two pieces of leather. They just use it for a stiffener. So. Okay, now I've got the top laced. Now I'm gonna go around and see if I can lace the bottom. Make sure I start in the right spot. Start right here.
Well, we're not getting any snow, but we're definitely getting a lot of rain.
Oh, it's coming down, ain't it?
Yeah. This is a cats and dogs situation.
Yeah. You know, I did see a snowflake in the forecast next week.
Yeah, I
Denny,
saw that
be
too.
quiet.
But that's not very.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 34 degrees with the snowflake.
With the snowflake.
Yeah, Sunday. Low of 28 degrees.
Gross. Man, I think all my hoping and wishing for tomorrow ain't hoping and wishing. I don't think it's gonna do.
Well, you have my permission to keep on hoping and a wishing because I'm not too fired up about cold weather.
I'm familiar.
Yeah.
I just got fired up about nice weather, and
I know.
then they start talking about this.
Isaac's out there catching shoe bills. Nope.
Spoonbills?
Spoonbills. No storks.
He caught
He's
a pretty
he's
good
not.
sized spoonbill too. That was
Isaac caught a good fish. You guys would be proud of him.
how much did it weigh? 70?
Yeah,
70 pounds?
Really?
they about pulled me in.
Just a little bit lighter than what he weighs.
Yeah, I felt like it.
It's
You
probably
just-
a little more powerful.
You just snagged those, right?
That was the worst part.
Were you out there with like a scythe? Like,
Felt like it was snagged right in the tail was the worst part.
Oh.
So it was, oh my God. Yeah,
So it's just rolling.
there you go,
Yeah.
guys. That's his fish right there.
Oh man, that is bigger than
You can
you.
show it to that camera right there.
Which one?
If you want.
Yeah, this one.
This one right here.
I can't see where I'm at.
Keep
I've
going.
snagged
There it
a lot
is.
of- A lot of fish, and then
That's
the
me.
tail's the worst place
Oh my gosh.
because they got all that power.
Oh yeah.
Latigo says, "Sorry, I'm late. The dog ate my rawhide." Rosie tried to eat this rawhide.
Rose she's a kleptomaniac as far as rawhide goes. I was thinking I'm gonna have a real excuse, the old excuse the dog ate my homework. You know, I thought that's what I'm gonna get to say today.
She's just a kleptomaniac with everything. She'll come in here and try to take things out of the trash can.
Yeah, she's a.
She'll try to steal Luna's toys.
Luna got in here and she immediately your rawhide was already on the table and she popped her little head up on the table and started sniffing real hard. She's like, "What do you got?"
I truly hope the sequence I'm doing this in is right.
The tornado that hit around here was in William's neighborhood, or not, well, city, but it was on the other side of his little town that he lives in.
He lives over towards Joplin, don't you, William?
Was it Ava?
Ava?
Where did the tornado hit? William, fill us in. I don't remember.
Tosi isn't that way.
I do love some good spring thunder.
Yeah, I'm not
There was
opposed to
a
thunder.
strike that hit really close earlier, and I jumped out of my chair. It was really loud. Being next to that back door, startled me.
Nevada. He's in Nevada.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Denny, you're just being pretty delicate. Is your lace wet too?
Yeah,
Okay. Your lace is wet.
it's wet, but like I was saying earlier, lace is really, it's a thin piece, so it's drying out faster than the rest. But that's all right, it gives it a little bit of body makes it easier to work with.
And probably less likely that you're going to stretch it too much
Right.
and cause yourself issues.
Right, and that's another thing. I'm trying to lace this really loose on here, because if I try to stretch it out like this, when it dries, it's going to bend the wires on this, because I've done that before.
And then he had to wet it again and get a new lampshade or try to
Well, I was gonna
reframe
say,
it.
Yeah, you gotta take a guess at how tight you wanna pull that.
Right.
Because when it does dry out, it doesn't necessarily shrink up like we said, but it hardens up, and all that heat from the light bulb, that will cause some
Right.
pull up.
Right.
But we're going to put an LED in it so it's less heat.
Yeah, but
Oh, that's-
you know, but I want this to be kind of wrinkly and
Rustic.
everything. It'll be more rustic that way. Yeah.
We're going for the rustic vibe. The Rusty Moose will call us soon.
Isn't there a store like that?
That's what
Rusty
they're-
Moose?
They're going to need this for their decor.
Yes, they are. They'll be calling us, and we'll say sorry. We made one. That's all we want to make. All right, now I'm not sure what I want to do here. I know this has to fold in.
What do we got Kevin doing over here?
Well, I can't switch it.
Not much of nothing.
Oh, because you're just, okay.
Yeah, I'm recording it. We'll get to see the sped up version when it's all done.
I think I'm gonna lace this.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Look, you get both at once. Does testing involve chewing? You chew your rawhide up, Denny?
No, I do not. If any of you have ever worked with it, you'll realize this is pretty stinky stuff. It's not real appetizing.
Dean wants to know how far apart you punched your holes.
About an inch and a quarter. I don't think it's
Nothing critical there.
yeah, it's not real
Just
critical.
so it looks even. And your top holes are closer together than the ones going down.
Yeah,
and,
simply because I've got less distance that I'm working
Yeah.
with there.
and you want that to be fairly secured up top, and then at the bottom it's a little bit more loosey-goosey.
Right.
Yes, running water. This is goat skin. We sell a goat rawhide. I think this is the largest one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is whatever the XL, I think is the size, but we sell 3 or 4 different sizes of goat rawhide skins. So this is the largest skin that we sell.
I could have probably gotten by with a smaller skin, but I didn't know exactly how much I was gonna need.
Well, and using the live edge too, I mean, I guess you could have trimmed it off everywhere, but that, you need
Right,
to be able to cut all the panels with a live edge.
yeah.
So,
And that was one of the things that I was really hoping for, was being able to use this live edge. Okay, now I got it going the right direction.
Andrea Millard says, "Hi, Kevin."
Well,
From
hello,
Andrea and Shelby.
Yeah, she's here somewhere probably. I don't know where, and I ain't gonna go hunting.
And what's the width on your lace there?
It's about 3/16.
Okay. And what'd you punch a 3/16 hole?
About an 1/8 inch hole.
1/8 inch, but it stretches.
Yeah. But that's another thing. I wanted the holes to, because when this dries, it'll stretch those holes out, and I wanted that because light will show through there.
Ooh. Get some speckles in the room.
Yeah.
Hi, Omar. How you doing? I think John would be proud of us. I mean, maybe not
Oh,
me,
yeah.
but he could be proud of you.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he'd be proud of you.
I've only made a couple of those. I really was not moved to make any more.
You weren't moved. Well,
This-
you know, every time I do something like this, I think, wow, I'm glad I'm done with that. I don't want to do that again. But then I get excited about something silly, you know. And here I am again.
Excited about something silly.
Well, that's okay, Denny, 'cause I understand that. That kind of comes with never growing up, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's a good trait to keep even after childhood. Because otherwise you just get old and grumpy.
Yeah,
Yeah, nobody wants that.
that's right.
If you can't be excited about anything anymore, what's the point?
That's why I love my job so much, because I get to do stuff that excites me.
All right. Look at Dean coming in with great questions. Are you going inside out or outside in? You're just kind of whipping around the bar.
Okay, yeah, but see, I've got an overlap here, and I want to do it so it pulls that overlap around.
So this one's going outside, and then I assume, are you going to make it even? Like this one will also come to the inside?
Well, no.
Are you gonna-
No, because that's, well,
Oh,
this
'cause-
one will.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then on this side, these will come to the outside, and then these will
Yeah.
both be on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just went around,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and this was the beginning right here. So,
Yeah.
So it's the only one that will oppose.
Yeah, we're just whipping around that bar. And then you just have to make the decision for which part overlaps which part. So,
Yeah.
and that'd be whole big vat of rawhide. I think that's just going to be an image that lives in my head for a while.
Oh, big vat, yeah. Oh, it would, if you saw it, yeah, you would remember it for your whole life.
I mean, when we did that Herman Oak tour, and you
It's
see
kind of like
those
that.
those wet blue hides after they come out of the
Yeah.
dehairing, and they're puffy
Flat
and
out nasty.
and grayish blue. Oh my goodness! Chris was like, "Oh, I want to touch it," and I was like, "I do not want to touch that." He just wanted to squish it, because I mean that was like that. Whatever they took out of that vat was over an inch thick easily. It was so
Yeah,
swole.
but it swells when it's wet.
Yeah.
It's swollen.
Ugh, it looked like whale blubber or something. I don't know.
It was not so great.
Oh, can one tool on rawhide?
No.
Not
No.
at all.
One can try. Yeah, I say no. I mean, someone's gonna
I could see if Luna ate
Really?
all
You whacked
refute that.
You probably cut right through it, do you think?
Yep.
Yeah.
Depending on the stamp.
Dean, was it you that was telling us, or was it? I don't remember who it was that was telling us about dyeing rawhide. You can dye it. So he said,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, with
put it
walnut
in
shells?
put it in a vat of walnut shells, and you'll get a nice antique on it. We did not do that,
No.
but you can. I mean, you could probably do it with a plethora of different options, but. Kevin, is this a big version of your Secret Lake?
It's kind of getting there.
I love it. You should tell us that story again.
Oh, I should. I can't do the same thing twice, no matter what I try.
Well, that's okay, because only the four of us heard your first story, so nobody else knows what it was. Not
To be
Dean.
honest, only the three of you, because I was trying to fix the stream, so I wasn't listening.
It was a good story.
Well,
Yay! Thanks, Latigo. I rolled most of that leather, so you're welcome. He liked my $100 box.
oh, good.
Kevin helped me pick stuff out for it, even. He was very resourceful in the coffee shop.
So we got 39 left.
39 boxes left. Get yours while they're still available.
Man, they're going, ain't they?
Mm-hmm. Denny, did you miss a hole or are you gonna go back in it?
Well, I'm not sure, but to make it spiral like this, I kind of have to go like I am.
Well, you have this one too. So I wonder, what if you go down into it, back up out of there, and then again,
That's what
and do a loop? Because then you'll have to fill that hole. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but
Good point.
okay.
Good point. I'll go back up. Now
and then that'll just latch it in.
Now back to this same hole. All right. That's a good idea. Liz, see, I need you. You're my spotter,
I do my best.
and you do well.
Rawhide is the John Wayne toilet paper.
I don't think so.
I don't think that's gonna flush well.
There's a lot of other things it's not gonna do well.
I mean, I feel like it could be about the same as a pine cone. I guess maybe a pine cone has.
Toilet paper, you're not flushing.
That's true. You gotta use Rawhide. You're not sitting with modern plumbing as your friend.
I was watching a movie a while back. It had Robert Duvall and some other guy in it, but he sent the other guy to town to buy supplies, and he ordered beans and coffee and all whatever. And he said, and a box of therapeutic papers. And I didn't know what he was talking about. But he got back and gave this box of therapeutic papers to Robert Duvall. And Robert immediately took it and headed for the brush. And he came back and the guy said, "How were they?" And he said, "How were they?" He said, "The guy guaranteed no splinters."
And Running Water said 30 years ago they poured concrete at a slaughterhouse and will never forget the things that they saw. Oh, Michael, yeah, you had one very heavy box. I rolled up all 5 of those sides into one. It was, maybe I should have done that differently, but that's what I did. Larry said you could dye it in really strong coffee, and then you could have a light aroma when it was on. Could be your coffee fix in the morning. Sit next to your lamp, breathe it in. Yeah, Michael, as I was rolling up your leather, I was like, I hope his sons are home to help him pull this in. Because she was a hefty roll. Denny, that's looking great.
I think it's gonna work. If I can get all 4 sides to come out like this.
How do you splice when you're rawhiding?
The way I figure it, with a knot.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's gonna be on the inside.
And why not? And why not?
And
Why not?
Why not a knot?
That's rustic.
Yes.
And I did get your pattern in there. I almost forgot it, and then I remembered that I had forgotten it. And I ran to Ryan and I said, well, since you haven't opened them yet, you won't know. But I printed out your pattern on the big plotter so you don't have to tape all the pages together, because I figured I could do that for you. Because I'm sure that would have taken you a long time to do. So you get big plotter paper that you don't have to tape together.
Okay. it up here.
Oh my goodness, you guys. But Dandy coming in with she's a hefty roll. It's what my dad said about one of my girlfriends in high school.
She's a hefty roll.
Oh no. That's. And you still remember that.
I'll remember that. I was all ready and then I pulled it back
How
up.
much length of lace did you cut for this, Denny?
I had a piece of rawhide off the back of this goat that was about 3.5 feet long, so I just cut lace
Just
3.5
off that?
feet long, yeah. And like I said, I let it get to the consistency of leather, and then I could use just a strap cutter to cut this lace with, and it worked out pretty well.
Do you remember about how long that took?
How long it took? Oh, for it to dry out?
Yeah.
Uh, this way.
Oh, so you soaked everything. You cut your big panels.
Yes.
Okay, so it was pretty wet. You cut your big panels, and then you had this strip left over, and you kind of let it sit there for a
Yeah,
while and come
yeah.
back to a semi-hardened.
Right. I think I did it
State.
the next day, as a matter of fact.
Okay. If you're in Arizona, you might check it a little bit more frequently, but here in humid city, it took it a long time to dry out.
Yeah. If you're in a real dry climate, this goat will dry out pretty quick.
Like really quick.
Maybe that's why John lives here, is so he can do rawhide work.
Well, I found when I moved here from Colorado that rawhide work on a saddle is not all that desirable
Oh yeah?
because it is so humid. The rawhide will have a damp consistency and get all out of shape. It just not. I mean, it looks good when it's brand new, but for use, it isn't too good.
Yeah, basically, Dean. So he's wrapping. You've got the inside layer going underneath over the frame, and then the outside is coming over that one, and then he loops the lace underneath the frame and tightens it down.
Yeah, I made these panels probably 3/4 of an inch bigger than the actual frame is.
Gotcha.
That way I could overlap.
It was in the really heavy box. I'm gonna say the big one. It was in the big box. I was looking through and that was the first one that I found because they didn't put it in a cart, so it was easy for me to find.
Boy, it's coming down.
You make me feel like it's nap time.
You guys out there probably can't hear this, but
Oh, can you hear
I
the
just
rain
saw
out
a cat fall through over there and a dog over there. Okay.
Omar, did we answer your question about this? It's just wet. It's rawhide lace that's wet. You didn't oil it or anything. Right.
Yeah, you can't.
No,
you
it doesn't
can't-
absorb anything.
It won't absorb oil. No.
So,
Okay, now I'm going to tie this in a knot, a square knot.
I know those.
As opposed to a what knot?
as opposed to a round knot. Oops. I did a decent amount of macrame in my childhood.
I told Mary June about your bird that you're gonna,
Oh,
she was really excited.
well, you might have to take it for me.
I will,
Okay.
I will.
I was telling Chris about it last night, and he's like, "You're going crazy." And I said, "I know."
It's the best part of life, going crazy.
I do want to have one of the boys cut me a 2x2 so I can work on it this weekend. I think it needs to be Herman oak because I think the import leather is not firm enough to hold its shape in that kind of a size. And so I think I'm going to need to use like maybe 5 to 6 ounce Herman oak, and we'll see how it comes out. Brad, you need barge thinner to thin your barge cement. So
Barge thinner to thin your barge.
we always recommend every adhesive formulation is a little bit different, and Barge makes their own thinner and Masters makes their own thinner. So our recommendation is to use the thinner that is made for the glue. Any other thing that you do would be a spearmint, and I can't guarantee that you're going to have glue at the end of it.
Sometimes it doesn't work at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have we sell it by the quart. I think that's the only size that they offer the thinner in, is you just buy a quart of that,
Well,
and then
gallon, but
you oh yeah, and then you just pour it into your little container, like a little glug glug at a time. Screw the lid back on, shake it up, pull your little wand out, see if it's the right runniness that you need. If it's not quite there yet, put another glug in, shake it up real good.
Don't over thin.
Yeah, you want to just add a little bit at a time until you get it to the right area. And all of those cements are going to thicken because the alcohol, as you use them, the alcohol is evaporating. And so that just means the adhesive is left because the alcohol is the carrier of the adhesive, or the solvent, whatever you want to call it. And so it's always just going to thicken up over time as you use it, and it's exposed to the air, it's just going to evaporate. So you kind of, it's just good if you buy, a quart of cement, get a quart of thinner, and then,
Yeah.
because you're probably not going to make it through, unless you're just glue happy
Thinner will make your cement go twice as far.
in that. Yeah. And it'll be easier to use. It'll stick better because you want it decently thin. You don't want it real heavy and gloppy.
Generally, when you first open a can, that's about how thick you want it. But as soon as you open the can, it starts getting thicker.
Rawhide work just seems real chill compared to leather.
Yeah.
It just seems so much more forgiving.
Yeah, because you can be rustic.
Because you're rustic.
There's nothing cut to fit, It's all just a wild guess.
Dean is proud of this project. He says it's coming out better than he thought it was gonna.
Well, Dean, if it's any consolation, I am too. Because I was pretty concerned.
Denny thought about this for a long time. Like, really, ever since you finished the saddle, we've been talking about making a lamp with this, and he's been thinking and considering and thinking and wondering and hoping and...
Mostly what I thought was, how in the world am I going to do that? But a lot of times, you think about something about twice as much as you need to. You start to do something, which is what we did.
Mm-hmm.
We just started and did this. I need to end it like that.
Kevin, how's your little secret lake coming?
oh, it's just what it is. I don't know what to tell you.
Beautiful. You got beautiful mountains.
You guys get 2 days of Kevin next week. Denny is headed off to Nashville to teach a class. So I've commandeered Kevin to do something.
Do something.
I even bought him knockoff, for Pete's sakes. Bob Ross brushes because legit Bob Ross brushes are really expensive, and I said,
Yeah, I
Having
don't
that-
know how that's all gonna work.
seems like a lot, but so we'll see.
Depends
He's
on
gonna
how
do
lazy I get.
some spearminting next week. Vanessa's working on her round braid. Are you making anything specific? Are you doing whips? Oh, let it go. What are you saying over here? Oh, Latigo said you can get some of those plastic droppers, the eye droppers on Amazon to use as a thinner, or to add the thinner. I don't know. I always just go blink. Although sometimes I will say that the thinner bottle, the spout on it is really inset, and so if it's extra full, it really just gets everywhere. So I do see why using the droppers would be handy, because I always take it to the sink and then make a big mess.
I always go to the trash can.
Yeah, because I know the thinner's gonna spill everywhere as it glugs out of there.
What's worse than the thinner though, as far as spilling everywhere, is the cement.
Oh.
You've done that a few times, haven't you?
Yeah.
I tell you, when I moved to Minnesota and I figured out ice fishing, man, I like to ice fish. My friend had an ice house. And, you know, most ice houses, they're anywhere from probably about 6 feet across and maybe 10 feet long, and, you know, built so where you can have a little wood stove in them and fish in what I'm wearing right now. You in 30 below weather, you can fish in a shirt.
Really?
And I decided, well, I'm going to have me an ice house. But I lived in a HUD house. It was newly built for me. It's the first house I ever bought. And it was a pretty good deal. It was kind of cheapy, but, you know, it was still a pretty good deal. And it was the nicest thing I'd ever had. So I didn't have a place to build this ice house that I decided to build in about late November. So I just got the wood and stuff, and I went to building it in my living room.
Of course.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't remember what I had to glue.
I don't remember anything after that glue.
Maybe it was the styrofoam to the walls. I just don't remember. But all I do remember is that back in the day, it was Tandy Craftsman cement, and I spilt a quart of it in the middle of that living room rug.
Oh boy.
You didn't have a rug anymore, did you?
Well, you know, I moved not
It was
too
real
long
short
after
and
that.
I moved on. I left that flammable situation for somebody else.
It was, oh gosh. You really don't want to spill glue on your rug, I can tell you right now.
On a hardwood floor, it wouldn't be so bad.
Well, no, you can sand it.
Well, plus the fact that most people like, and I've done it myself a lot, is when you spill something like that, you immediately want to wipe it up.
Ooh.
But contact cement, if you will just let it dry, leave it alone, let that big puddle of it dry, you can just peel it off for the most part.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well,
Kevin
doesn't work on carpet, Kevin.
You weren't around, so I'll just tell Becky it was your fault.
Vanessa says ice fishing is life. The best I did was in Alaska.
The only ice fishing I've ever done was in Steamboat Springs, and we went up to, there was a lake named Steamboat Lake.
Yeah.
But we didn't have no ice house, we had the whole outdoors that protected us.
Well, it's a lot better with an ice house, I can tell you.
Well, but in Colorado, when it's cold, if the sun's shining, it doesn't feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Black humidity.
Yeah. We got several people around Braden today. Vanessa's making lanyards for her tools so that she doesn't lose them. And Star Ridge is making dog leads.
I thought I had enough lace cut, and I do, but I didn't have it all on. I'd had a needle on all of it except for 2 pieces, and I wish now I would have put the needle on them.
Whoop. You got one side and 2 bottoms? Nope, one side and one bottom.
One bottom.
All right, guys, check this out. We got one side, one bottom so far. So this side can go towards the back because it's less opaque than the rest of it. But this should shine light through really well. This looks like one of those scary movies where somebody's trying to get out of something, but they can't. Ah! Very cool.
Alright. This one I'm gonna have to go the opposite direction because I'm back around.
Oh, goodness. Is the Sheridan show good for beginners to go to? Won't be able to make the classes during the week, but maybe Friday, Saturday. Absolutely. Some of the most talented leather crafters in the world come out to Sheridan. I mean, they go to, I think, several of the leather crafters shows, and you've got, like Sergei Volbach from Germany that comes to do classes.
Is that guy that makes stuff that made the over here?
Yep, he's
Yanni?
Yanni's there. So he's Japanese, but he lives in Oregon. So you can see some of his work, but just you've got all sorts of vendors there that are amazing to meet with.
Seeing the work in your hands is really...
Going through the World Leather Debut is super inspiring for people that are getting into the leather craft. And they do have some beginners categories in that.
Which will make you feel terrible.
So it is absolutely a fantastic place to go. Even if you can't attend the classes.
You see things you didn't realize existed. It gives you inspiration.
Really good for your creative,
Yeah.
creative brain, it sounds like.
And the community is just so welcoming. Like, just talk to anybody, everybody. It's a great time. How do you clean up a smashed ladybug on your leather? Got while tooling.
Actually, you don't.
You just leave it.
Well, I mean, you can scrape off the parts.
Die over her. Larry, I'm gonna say that Sheridan has the most vendors of any of the shows. I have not actually compared the list, but Sheridan is kind of the most iconic of the locations. Is it the oldest running of all their shows?
It's the daddy of them all.
Yeah.
As far as leather.
And also the Brinton Museum is there, and if you make it a little bit earlier in the week and you go, you can see Jim Jackson and his work. Sometimes you can go and see his studio if he's there, which we did 2 years ago, and that was amazing. Jim Jackson is awe-inspiring.
Didn't he do some carving for Al Stolman when Al Stolman got older?
You know, I'm
He
not
might have.
sure, but yeah, he could have. But just the way that, because he's a classically trained artist, and then he takes that and he incorporates leather with it. Or he does his art on leather. And so he does a combination of tooling and painting on canvas, or just, on Herman Oak, really specifically. And it's incredible. It's some of the most beautiful it's just beautiful.
Yeah. He used to be the world's best, but then he taught the Japanese. And
I'm excited. I think that documentary comes out this year.
yeah,
I'm super excited. Sheridan, the city of Sheridan paid for a documentary to be made about Sheridan style carving and Jim Jackson going to Japan, or the Japanese coming here and learning from him, kind of just the back and forth trade. I'm so excited to see that. They debuted it, the trailer for it last year at the award ceremony for the,
It looked really good.
yeah, I want it to come out. I'm ready to see it.
it's supposed to be on Netflix the way I understood it. Didn't they say?
I think they said that they were in talks. So I'm hoping, because that's one of the streaming services that I have. I don't need another one. But I don't know what the option would be, but I thought it could be fun. This is me just spitballing things out loud, which you know that I hate when people do that. But if we could like commandeer one of the theaters here in town, like the Moxie or something, to see if they could do a special run,
No kidding.
wouldn't that be neat?
Wouldn't that be fun?
So anyways, since it's not out yet, I don't know the logistics of that, and since it's maybe on Netflix, I just don't know, but I thought that would be really fun.
You just have to reach out to the person who creates it.
Okay.
I'm sure the Moxie it's pretty cheap to get your stuff played at Moxie.
Okay. I guess you would know about those kind of things, wouldn't you? Yeah, the leather eagle, holy moly. We walked in and I thought it was part of the room because this takes place at a college and, we're in Wyoming, so I thought that maybe they had some taxidermy of a hawk. Because why not? But no, it was just leather. Just a leather hawk.
2 years worth of leather, right?
Yeah.
I'm drawing down to the wire here.
Got one more whip to go.
Okay.
They have a theater called the Roxy in Running. Where are you? Running Water. We're running water right now, all
Lots
over
of
the
water.
building. We have a drainage pipe that runs through our room. So it's not great when it rains and you need to pee and you can't find an open bathroom.
Well,
Are you selling the lampshade as a kit? No, we're not selling it as a kit. This is just our extra large goat rawhide. And then, where did you get this shade? Did you just go to like?
I just went to like Walmart or any place that sells
Okay.
lampshades.
Yeah, and he just got a style that he liked and was the size that he was looking for, and then he took the stuff off of it. Cause yeah, what did you pay? Like $10 probably.
Yeah,
Maybe
12. I
12.
think. Yeah, let's be specific.
12. So we owe Denny $12. Noted. I'll have Lauren write you a check.
Okay.
Maybe I'll have Kevin take you to lunch. You can go to Culver's and get soup and a fish sandwich.
Is that what you always have, Kevin?
Well, if they have good soup, then I typically get a thing of that and a cod fillet if they have it, which they always do. So we always get it.
The new roof is working pretty well. I don't think that we've had leaks this spring yet. So, holding in. We're holding in. Holding it out. Something. It's not coming in. Rusty doesn't want to talk about it, so we don't talk about it. Correct, yep, and then we add the rawhide. Yep. So Denny got all of his lace and panels off of that one extra large goat skin. I think literally if you type goat rawhide, we've got a couple different sizes. So depending on the size of your lampshade, I think we list kind of the dimensions, I'm pretty sure, on it. And then you
Yeah.
wet it, and then you added 3/4 of an inch to all edges, and then you you cut it on the live edge.
Yeah, as far as making a pattern for it, one like this, an angular one is a lot easier than a round one, I would think.
Oh yeah. Probably. Because in the round, I guess you have to decide. You could still do maybe a couple. But it's probably easier. Did Kevin ever get a new sewing? Dean, what are you talking about? I don't know what you said. Kevin doesn't do a lot of sewing. Is that the right word? Am I reading that correctly? Yes, I did.
What do I not do?
Running Water is out in Seattle. Or 2 hours south. Denny, did you miss a hole? Oh.
No, that's where I started. I'll have to go back and fill that in.
Yep, he's got a tail here, so he'll loop that through.
Yep.
We hadn't determined that we were going to do the loop on the end yet. That happened on the second panel.
Yeah. It was experiment.
Thanks for watching out for him, Omar. Yeah, Denny got his class 4. his class used it, and he said most of them didn't cry. He said they did okay.
Yeah. I was amazed. I was the only one that cried.
And that was getting the cantle binding sewn on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of leather. That's a thick. It's just thick.
There was a fella that called me yesterday wanting to know about stitching a candle binding. He says, you can't do that. That's just too thick. And I said, you have to do that. You don't have a choice. If you want to stitch it, you've got to stitch it. All right, where's the hole that I lost?
There it is, where your tag is.
There it is. Luckily, I had a little point on that too.
Perfect. Look at that, Denny. 1 hour and you got a whole lampshade.
Yeah. Amazed myself.
Also, as we're finishing up here, don't forget that our new 2025 catalog is out and ready to order. We got our shipment last Friday. So if you didn't pre-order to ship from the printer, then next time you place an order, plop it on there. They're $5. But I think it's totally worth it, and they're pretty awesome. So
Very nice catalog.
yeah, sure. I have a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in here. Hopefully everybody enjoys it. I know several people have already gotten theirs, and they loved it.
I hate to leave it.
Do you?
It's midway. But I'm going to.
This is what Kevin's been tootling on. Well, you can take it up on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or whatever you're going to do on Wednesday. What did you use? 1 stamp, 2 stamps?
Yeah, 2.
And then you hammered some stuff down here.
Yeah, and I gotta fix all that.
And then you just went in with your modeling tools
Yeah.
and you just poke around on the leather.
You gotta poke around. A lot of poking.
A lot of poking around.
Anyway,
Well, thanks for poking around with us, Kevin.
I am going
I'll
to
see you
go
next
get
Wednesday.
a piece of fish.
And hopefully some soup. And we're going to check out this lamp because she is done.
Man, that is really great.
Oh my goodness.
Gorgioso.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's a great job, Denny.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
You could almost put another one of the posts on it.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to, but then that would raise it so you could see the top of it. But there's the lamp, guys. So he'll dry up over the weekend. Do you think it'll take all weekend for the leather to dry back out?
It'll probably be dry by morning.
Okay.
I mean, it's drying pretty quick right now.
It looks good. Got to finagle the rawhide a little bit. Make sure it's drying appropriately.
But it'll draw. That'll be pretty tight when it's done. I didn't realize. I was trying not to make it quite that tight, but it'll be all right.
There's a little bit of give, but yeah, it looked like less give when you had done like the first panel or two, but as you finished them up, it kind of...
Stretched them out.
Mm-hmm. So, we'll let you know if we have a funky shade in the morning.
We'll show it to you next week or sometime. She will.
That's right, Chevy. It'll look mighty fine in your shop. If you are looking for the pattern, we do have the pattern for all of the leather pieces and the tooling. They were linked to Wednesday's video, so you can find them there. Now that the project is all done, over the next week or two, Tony will probably put it up on the website in the free projects for you to find. And then, yeah, if you're here locally, once it's all set and ready to go, you can come see it on retail. Or maybe Denny will put it in his area and plug it in. Who knows? You'll have to come find it.
After it's dry, I'm anxious to see a light in it.
Me too. I've got some LED bulbs. I'll bring one in. I don't know if we have any here. I have to
a
look.
color changing one at the house.
Ooh,
we
or
do-
maybe we should get an Edison one.
We do have the incandescent ones. Remember the other day when I just that item, 4 packs?
Oh yeah, I don't want one of those. Those get hot. We're worried about the heat with the rawhide.
I got an LED one that changes colors.
Mhm.
We can make it
Look
look
at
like this.
those old school looking ones in LED now.
Mhm. Yeah. Pretty. Yeah. They've.
It really helped with my electric bill.
I like the pattern on all the chats.
So perfect. There's the pattern. Alrighty, folks. Well, thanks for hanging out with us while we did this experiment. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Make your own lamp. Find your own parts.
This was an experiment. We didn't copy the formula for it, but
That's right. It'll be good. It came out really well. I love it. Alrighty, guys. We will see you next week. Don't get washed away this weekend.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Bye.